parachute, get all those gliders ready to attack today. Hook up or we'll be gone. Pouring our jet into the dawn. At station time to fight them all.
And here is somebody of well renown, Lin Rhea. Here is the man himself. Now, tell us about what you have been in and what you're doing in the knife world.
Well, I've been a knife maker now for about 20 plus years, so I've been around a little bit.
A little bit.
And I heavily stress forging. So I'm trained as a historic blacksmith. So that has influenced my work, as you can readily see when you see the work. I really want to teach the younger and newer makers, and I want to tie in the historic aspects of blacksmithing. There's a lot of things that we do today that are influenced by the early blacksmiths, and a lot of people are just that do the work. They're completely unaware that what they're doing is based upon some of the things the early blacksmiths did.
Well, the blacksmith was the engineer of the whole town.
He was the welder, he was the machinist, and he was the repairman for metal and steel objects. And so he did the repairs probably as much or more than he made new objects. So fixing things and engineering things was what he was good at. He had to have a good three-dimensional understanding of what these objects were, and he had to also know how they were used in order to make them strong enough in the right places, with the welds in the places where it would not be a problem, and he had to put them all together to make that object work. You can kind of see some of the stuff that I do. Here's my competition cutter. It's covered in grease. Let me wipe some of that off. So you can
Well, they are live steel.
Yeah, this is a one-piece steel knife from end to end, one piece of steel. So that was my limitation that I set up upon myself in order to make this design. So it took me some time to be able to do it. I wanted to make it where it was more than just a blade with a tang and I wrapped tape around it, you know. I wanted it to have some dimension and some sculpting and be a functional knife. So this is where I am at this point in the development of this, and I'm convinced that I have got it completed. So you'll see a few of the other knives that I've got. I've got a cleaver style of the same kind, and of course I do the historic side of things leads me into the James Black style. So I do make...
Yeah, that's definitely a style that I would like to add to my personal collection one of these days if I can find one.
Yeah, so it's a natural fit for me in this location here in Old Washington, Arkansas, for me to be able to bring a knife that mimics James Black's work. Of course, I put my name on them so that there's no chance that anyone would believe that I'm making a counterfeit.
There's some technical drawings right there.
Yeah, this is something that if somebody needs a drawing, I can provide them with something where they can make a faithful reproduction.
So tell us about this one here.
Just a little bitty vest knife.
Now that's leather stack, right?
It's meant to look like leather, but it's actually micarta stacked.
Really?
This way, 1/8 inch brown micarta, and it's it's just to look like and mimic leather. But I feel like that it's more.
It's
durable.
more robust than leather.
Stronger and durable.
If you're out there in a wet environment, the micarta does a lot better than leather.
Yeah, it's just naturally more water resistant and everything. And of course, a large knife that emphasizes forging and that black scale finish. Of course, I don't want it to be beat up. I want it to be kind of smooth forging. I want it to be a good finish. Good forge finish, and so that's what I try to go for on my forge finishes.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
I've ended up purchasing some of my first stag handles. I got some Randall knives, and I got two that have stag handles, and I love them. Oh,
Yeah. And this is just an EDC that somebody can pick up while I got it. It's a micarta with scalloped handle, and it's just a nice little design, I think. There's another stack. Yeah, here's one that just walked in. It's another style altogether. Forged bottom and top lugs, micarta, and a big old piece of sandbar.
that's fantastic.
That's gonna. You use that knife, don't you?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This is but
This was a class, 2-day class for him.
So you made that with a 2-day class. So you also do classes where you can somebody has a knife that you have a design of, and you can go over there and.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it could be. I think we did as much as we could in 2 days on that knife, and I believe we had to come back and just do some fine tuning on it, just to fit and probably the color, the color of the metal.
Yeah.
Because I like to have it in a particular way, and even though it's his knife, they allow me to kind of,
Have you been on any of the programs? Like Fortune Fire or anything like that?
I've not personally, but one of my knives was one of the challenges.
Oh, very cool.
The X-ray knife.
The X-ray knife. Oh, God.
And these are the small X-rays, so they're any size, and it depends on the starting stock. But they can be as big as this. Yeah. Or
And these knives are meant to be used.
oh sure, yeah, they are absolutely. Yeah, they are. No doubt about that.
All right, so Lin, so tell us how we can get a hold of you, especially on Facebook or YouTube, and also if they're interested in coming over and making a knife with you.
Okay, on YouTube, I'm Lin Rhea Knife Maker. On Instagram, I'm Lin Rhea _ Knife Maker. And on Facebook, I'm just Lin Rhea. But you can contact me through my website at rheaknives.com. Rheaknives.com. And it's spelled this way: Rhea, R-H-E-A, and rheaknives.com. And
Now-
there's a contact page for questions, and of course I'll answer. And
So for the people watching this, there's one thing about buying a knife, and then there's another one, taking it to the next level and actually taking a class with Lin and making something that I would consider to be a family heirloom. So if you want to get in touch with him to do that, that is a one-of-a-kind experience right there. All right, Lin, thank you so much for sharing with us today. And as always, have a nice day.
thank you, Mike.
We will parachute all the guns of the forces. Get ready. Airborne from skies of blue. Get in the glow. We're coming. Make your jumps and take your boats today. Let's go put on your boots. Your jumping boots, your parachute. Your parachutes, get all those gliders ready to attack today.